The UN's Food and Agricultural Organization says its efforts to fight hunger have been set back 10 years due to the coronavirus pandemic. FAO's chief economist, Maximo Torreira Collins, says the problem is not a lack of food, but access to it.
People won't have access to food because they are losing their jobs, because they don't have the income. Developing countries will be facing significant challenges because of recession in the world. And therefore, that is what explains why undernourishment could increase to 132 million and poverty.
He predicts poverty will get worse.
We are expecting an increase in poverty, which goes up to 150 million more people moving into extreme poverty. We are expecting 132, up to 132 million people moving to undernourishment.
The most vulnerable, he says, are those exposed to unrest or climate change.
In sub-Saharan Africa, in the Sahel area, most of them were already facing conflict. Most of them were already facing huge shocks of climate, or they were facing locust, the problem that we have in Eastern Africa.
East Africa saw a devastating outbreak of locust swarms this year. In Kenya, it was the worst plague of the voracious insects in 70 years, taking a toll on the livelihood of millions. Although the pandemic has hit other parts of the world harder, such as in the United States and Europe, a survey by the International Committee of the Red Cross found that respondents in Africa have been affected since the start of the pandemic. ICRC's Alimatu Amadou spoke to VOA from Dakar.
And this survey was done among 2,400 people in 10 African countries. And what those people we have interviewed say is really worrying. For example, 94% have told us that the prices of the food has increased in their local markets. We also see that 82% of the people interviewed said that they lost income or revenue.
She says only 7% of the people said they had enough savings to cope with the current situation.
So in Burkina Faso, there are 2.8 million people who face crisis level of food insecurity or worse. It's actually 200% more than last year. What we see is that there are now more than 1 million people being displaced, and those people have lost access to arable land, and usually it has been made even more difficult for them to access enough food.
Beyond Africa, the FAO is particularly worried about Latin America, which has also been hit hard by COVID-19. Mariama Diallo, VOA News.